Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasibuke ama reality shows ethu ala eMzansi. Bese sizala sokhuluma ngawo lama shows siyaphinda ke futhi sikhuluma ngama celebrities kanye nama YouTubers ethu ala eMzansi. If it is your first time joining me today and you really like my content, ungakhohlwa ukuthi press the subscribe button la ngezansi and a notification bell ukuze uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. You guys, listen, let me do this full review of episode 11 of now when I say Real Housewives of Isencane Lengane. I actually thought last week we were getting the last episode, which was episode 10 of Isencane Lengane, but it's not. It wasn't the last episode. Okay, so we have episode 11. I thought that because there is a show that they had advertised on Moja Love that it's going to play at the same on the same slot as Isencane Lengane, so I thought we might have had the last episode last week, but it's not. Okay, you guys. Now Ntando noma wakhe, this episode, which is episode 11, they were supposed to meet with ubaba Thando. Okay, listen, this is one of the things that I think is very matured Thando, because Thando, of course, a lot of the viewers have been saying that she acts very immature. Okay, and I think this time she is matured in making a decision. Even though she has such issues with Nkosi, okay, who is ubaba Thando, they've had so many issues. There was a time when he thought that Thando was not his child, and he wasn't really taking care of Thando for a number of years, and he was questioning the paternity of Thando earlier on, because he was saying, why did they take so long to bring Thando kubo azobona and all of that, even though they had those issues. But I feel like after the DNA test results came out, she is the first person that was like, you know what, Thando, it doesn't matter how you feel about your dad, it doesn't matter how angry you are, you have to try and fix things with your father, because at the end of the day, he is your father, whether you like it or not. And I think that she is making attempts to calm Thando down, because Thando is really angry with her dad. I think this season is one season where she has displayed how angry she is with her father. She doesn't want anything to do with him. All of the things that we have been seeing with Nkosi, the fact that Thando kubukwa and he only shows up when the cameras are around, when they're not, he's not there. Those same things Thando has said herself on the show, that she doesn't like that about her dad. So, but Thando, she is trying to bring them together. So she had asked Thando, and can she do her a favor, avume to meet with her dad, because they're trying to fix things. Because the last encounter that Thando had with Nkosi, she said that she did not want anything to do with him, that they must just go their separate ways. Yes, the DNA came back saying that he is her father. That's good to know, but that's all that she wanted to know. Now she wanted to move on with her life, because she was saying whether Nkosi is in her life or not, it does not make a difference. He does not contribute anything. He does not come and see her elokuzeni olundi, and basically he does nothing. So to her it's like, okay, let's just go our separate ways. I feel like what Thando is actually saying is, can you just leave the show? I feel like that's what she's saying, because obviously the only time that they see each other is on the show. So when he's saying let's go a separate way, she is saying, I don't want you to do the show. And I do feel like if ubaba Thando was not a clout chaser and he really cared about his relationship with his daughter, I think he would step away from the show, and then behind the scenes he would attempt to fix his relationship with his daughter, to say, listen, Thando, okay, because you think that I only want to be around you when I'm around the show, let me stop doing the show, but let's see if we can work on our relationship behind the scenes, okay? And if the show continues and maybe season 10 Thando is feeling like her dad is really genuine about their relationship, then she can decide, okay, dad, you can be on the show, and then they can share how they have been able to fix their relationship away from the cameras. But the fact that he's not even thinking that could make a difference to Thando makes me feel like he really is a clout chaser. Okay, he just wants to be on the show. Now, you guys, Thando has made the arrangements. she has asked Ntando. Thando agreed. I think she agreed out of just doing her mom a favor, because she did the same when they went to see Umthandazi ngendaba yedliso. Okay, so she agrees because Thando doesn't want anything to do with Ntando, with uThemkosi, but she's gonna go for her mom's sake. She calls the father to say, okay, Ntando has agreed that they are meeting somewhere endaweni yokudla, I guess, and they are expecting that uThemkosi is gonna come. What does uThemkosi do? He comes, but he doesn't come alone, you guys. I feel like it would have been such a perfect sit down for the first time for Ntando to just have her mom and dad there. She did not bring uSiyacela. She did not bring her baby. It was just her. Ntando had a baby there. But I think at some point somebody was holding a baby with her. I think maybe someone in production. So for the first time, you guys, Ntando was just going to have that experience of having, her mom sitting on one side and her dad sitting on one side. Both these people that brought her into this world, talking about how they can best support her, as their child. But uThemkosi didn't do that. He didn't even afford Ntando that opportunity to have just that one moment that she never had growing up, because they were never together while growing up. Okay, and he comes with uPinky, guys. Omunye futhi uNtanda kubuka wakathabethe, whom I don't even know why she was brought there. Why am I bringing my cousin to meet my baby's father to try and see if my baby can fix a relationship with her father? Like, it just did not make sense for me. Why are you bringing uPinky to this meeting? And I feel like that was a downfall of this meeting, you guys. The bringing of uPinky, because obviously immediately Ntando, when she saw uPinky, she was not happy about the fact that she is there, and I think the first person that came was Ntando. Sat down, and uThemkosi and uPinky came. Ntando is surprised. uPinky uyapi? Pinky is there, and then Ntando, when she comes to join them, she sees uPinky naye. She's put off by the fact that uPinky is there. Angmazi ukuthi uPinky uyaphi, guys. Angmazi. I was like, what is she doing there? Okay, so she is there. In the beginning, when Ntando is addressing Baba Thando naye, before Thando comes, she's telling him, listen, I called to Thando, like she had said, she doesn't want to see you. So I begged her to come so that we can see how we can work this thing out. Okay. Obviously, I'm thinking that Pinky would be able to will manage to just sit down and not say anything, because this is not something that has anything to do with her. But obviously, we know Pinky, any opportunity to speak, any opportunity to do a diary session, she's going to do it. And I don't know why she was there, honestly. I don't know why she was there. I don't know why any woman would think that she had a place in that meeting, you guys. So now, okay, Ntando comes and sits down, and because she was already having an attitude because Pinky is there, she complimented her mom to say, hey, mawam umuhle. And obviously, Pinky is always looking glamorous, the weave, the makeup, whatever. You're thinking Ntando naye uzomncoma ukuthi umuhle, and she didn't. Anyway, she said that she didn't care ukuthi Ntando didn't say anything about how nice she was looking. But I think Ntando was making a statement there to say, listen, I don't even recognize the fact that you're here, because I don't understand why you're here. My mom and dad were supposed to be there. Okay. So now they start talking about the issue. Ntando doesn't want to see ubaba wakhe. Okay. Ntando says, what I don't understand about Ubaba is the fact that the last conversation that we had, he said he was going to respect my wishes, which was that I don't want to see him. So basically, Themkosi was not supposed to continue doing the show, because obviously if he's doing the show, they're going to be forced to spend time together. So in him continuing to do the show, he's not respecting his daughter's wishes. And that's what is making me feel like if you respected Thando's wishes, you wouldn't continue to do the show, because that is the one thing that she does not want you to do. She says, Ubaba has never really showed up for me, and he only shows up in front of the cameras, guys. Like I said, that's what we've been saying about Themkosi. He says there was a time where she actually asked him to come as Obabona Olundi, and she asked him to come, but he never came. Okay, this was away from the cameras. Okay, and Utamkosi has been giving us this picture of Utena. He's been trying to see Thando. He will be trying to call Thando, and Usacela would not want her to pick up the phone and all of that. Okay. And ubaba Thando no uyakwazi ulundi guys, he knows umuzi wakadlamuka. You know why we know that? Because he did manage to go to the funeral wakadlamuka. He would not go and visit his daughter when his daughter asked him to come visit ama cameras angekho, but when the cameras were there for the funeral, he managed to go and visit the family. And remember when they were going to the funeral, because it looked like they were traveling in a production car, so it wasn't even that they arranged themselves that they were gonna go to the funeral. Okay, so I don't know the people that are saying Ntando Klaza when she's saying she does not want anything to do with this man. Because what is she supposed to do if your father doesn't show up for you? Are you supposed to just be like, oh, okay, fine, I'll only see my dad when the cameras are around? That is okay, I don't mind that. I don't understand that. Kungenza ukuthi uThando vele akekho Klaza, but uzolunga kanjani when you were not there as a father to even teach her to be respectful? Utamkosi would even say things like, Mina, I do have other kids that are raised very well. They respect me very much. That is because you were there for them, you know. Yes, they respect you because maybe you taught them how to respect you. But how is Thando going to be the same with you when you were not there for her, okay? And so fine, you guys. So she does saying Dabaguti Utamkosi was asked to come, and all he was supposed to do in order for him to come to Kolundi was to ask Mdletshe. Oh no, for that it was Thando was going to visit the Tabete family, and Thando had said to him, listen, I'm married now, so if ngizovakasha Tabete, you have to ask Mdletshe for that. And she says Ubaba Thando, Utamkosi never asked Mdletshe, so she never could go and visit Tabete because he never asked Mdletshe, and that is something that happened away from the camera. So Thando does everything that he needs to do when the cameras are around, but he doesn't do what he needs to do to connect with his child when the cameras are no longer around. Okay. So anyway, you guys, Pinky then tries to make some comments in terms of ukuvakasha kukaThando to the Tabete family. So now Thando is asking, where ukhona yini wena Pinky? Where were you? You know, where were you? You know, because she's trying to say, Pinky, it's not like Ubaba Thando was not around when Thando was growing up. There were some issues, particularly talking early, late, Kubo, and all of that. I didn't feel like Pinky had the place to comment, honestly. When it comes to that, I feel like she should have sat there and just be quiet because it wasn't her place. She also goes on to say, Pinky, listen, Musa ukusola uThemkosi yedwa, which then upset Thando, because Thando was like, what do you mean angasoli ubaba wakhe yedwa? Who else is she supposed to blame for the situation? Who else is she supposed to blame for Ubaba not being around and not showing up for her? So I feel like Pink was trying to say both Ubaba Thando and Thando are to blame for the situation. So Thando is like, what do you know when to even say that he's not the only one to blame? Uthi akasole bani, who should be blamed? Okay, and they do talk in the diary session about the fact that Thando was only brought when she was 7 years old and all of that. I feel like Ubaba Thando, like sometimes he would speak as if he's always been there for Thando, but then there are times when he said Thando was brought in when she was 7 years old, and as a result he doubted if she was his. But then sometimes he will say he's never doubted if Thando was his. I don't know, I'm confused at this point. I feel like I am tempted to believe Thando because I feel like whether what Thando says is true or not, I feel like I want to believe that that was her experience. Her experience was Ubaba was not there when she was growing up. There was a time when he went to visit her father and her father ran away and got in some car and left her there. That is Thando's experience, okay, of her father. And I feel like I am tempted to just go to that side because when it comes to Thando and Ubaba Thando, there's too many things that don't add up with both of them. But one thing we know for sure was that for most of Thando's life, Themkosi was not there, okay? And he also says Thando waqale wayiswa kwenye indawo. So wayiswa kwenye indawo, how is that relevant now that you know that she is your daughter? And now she is asking you to say, give me some space, which basically means don't do the show. How is that relevant now? Why is it important for you to still be on camera? I don't understand, lab. And Ntando defends herself to say, Mina, when I met Ubaba Thando, she has said this before, you guys, to say, when I met Ubaba Thando, I was actually a virgin. Yes, we only had that experience only once. Ntando has said that when she met Ubaba Thando, she was a virgin, okay? But for some reason, Ubaba Thando does not believe that she was a virgin. They only had that experience one night, and Ntando was conceived. And I guess that's why there was such a big thing about her, Uthemkosi being the father, because maybe he didn't believe that he was the father because they only were intimate once, okay? So then Pinky is making some comments in response to Thando saying I feel like in that situation, you guys, how would I be in the position? How would I be in a position to say my brother didn't make somebody pregnant, or it's not true that my brother had an intimate relations with somebody when somebody was a virgin? Information, because as an aunt, mina if it's my brother's, that is my brother's child. How the child was made or what not, how do I get in the argument yokuthi no, but mhlambe bewungeyona intombi ngenkathi uhlangana no bani kubanjani? Like, I feel like it's not an argument that I, as an aunt of a child, I can be involved in, and I feel like Pinky should not have been in that argument. Now everyone is upset. Thando stands up. Thando wants ukuthi ashaye Pinky. She's like, hey, abamazi kumawami yashaya. And I'm like, hey, God, when I look at two sides Pinky, no size Thando, I don't know what's, but anyway, you guys, I'm glad it was they didn't really get in a physical fight, because I think production realized it was getting volatile, and then they move them apart and and then I guess like when you had a fight of words with someone, and then you so again and you're like, hey, I should have said this and this and this, and then you get even more heated. I think that's what happened with Ntando, because then she goes back and I'm giving photo Pinky. Bambiza ngoglamour and what. I really honestly I've never liked Ulokuzana Pinky. Oh no, let me correct myself, because when she first came, you guys, I felt like she might possibly be hope for Thando, because she was talking a lot about how she was going to help Thando to finish school. She was going to help Thando possibly get a job, because then she has businesses and whatever, which has never happened, you guys. So when she first came, I felt like, okay, this aunt might actually be hope for Thando. But when I realized that actually she's more interested in shooting the show than helping Thando, then I realized that she's not that hope for Thando. So I don't like her, you guys. I didn't like that she attended the meeting. She shouldn't have been there, okay? And then you guys, we go back to Olundi, I guess, and Thando is going to sue Mdletshe. Remember, Mdletshe had many wives, so guys. Is it 5, 6, 7? I don't know, many wives. And one of the youngest wives is Mdletshe. I don't know how Mdletshe got Mdletshe, but he did, okay? Mdletshe is very young. I think she must be like 28 or something, or if she's old, she's 30, okay? She's young. I'm like, what Mdletshe lo? I sengiyamsola la emthini, because angazi lama khosikazi bawathola njani la amahle kangaka amaningi kangaka. So Thando Mdletshe is related to her. So now wakana laphayana kaDlamuka, but they've never really spoken as in akaza samvakashele and all of that. I thought that was weird. Thando has been married for what now? Is it not 4 or 5 years? But she says she's never been to her house. They never really talk. She says ukuthi umuntu othethayo and ophoxanayo and all of that. But she went to visit her. This is why I think that they decided that Thando must go and see Mdletshe. You remember when they did that scene where amakhosikazi ababdlamuka ezokhumula inzila, and all the wives were there. Umamkhuze was one of the wives. They were talking a lot in that meeting, and she was having that funny conversation with the uncle that obefuna ukubangena or something like that. And I think that they thought that, I think the production must have thought that she has an interesting personality, you know, because she made that scene fun to watch when they were doing that scene, and they were sitting lap around and they were splitting the blankets and stuff. Yes, I think that was the first time we got to hear her talk, Umamkhize. So I think that they thought, oh, this is an interesting one that we could add to the show, you know. So Thando is going to visit her. I think her home is around there now, so she goes to visit her, and umthola uyaklina, washes it and all of that. They start talking just about, I guess, what's happening with Ntando and Thando kanye naye lokhuzana uSiyacela. The interesting thing, you guys, for me that came out of this conversation was that when Thando shared ukuthi uSiyacela uyamshaya, like bayaxabana, and then sometimes I'm shy. Okay, number one, this is what is interesting. Thando has been trying to convince people that fight yabo is like once in a, it was random. It wasn't like it's something that happens all the time, that uSiyacela uyamshaya. But every time that she tells somebody about uSiyacela hitting her, she always talks as if it's something that happens all the time. So in a way, it's like she is denying that uSiyacela umshaya all the time, but at the same time she's confirming that he does, because I think in some sense she forgets ukuthi her story is uSiyacela akamshaya all the time. There was just one thing that happened that day, you know. But then she would forget, and then when she's telling somebody, she would be telling somebody that uSiyacela hits her whenever they fight. Okay, so there was one thing that was interesting. Another thing was that when she is telling uMamkhize this, uMamkhize does share a story. So ukuthi uBabdlamuka naye ube umuntu onesandla, meaning ukuthi uBabdlamuka ubewashaya amakhosikazi akhe. But which was interesting to me, because when uSiyacela was asked during the counseling session if ubabwakhe was physical with his wives, and if he ever saw it with his dad, he said no, he's never seen it. He's never seen it. He said that no, ukushaya umuntu wesifazane, I've never seen it at home. I never saw it with my dad. It might be that uSiyacela really was protecting his dad in saying that. Oh, you guys, he never saw his dad, hit his wives. And even this wife, uMamkhize says, uBabdlamuka did hit her, but she does not remember uBabdlamuka ever doing that in front of uSiyacela. Sometimes, guys, when we're raising kids see things that we think that they don't see, you know, so maybe it's one of those things. But yeah, that was interesting to learn, you guys. And it's interesting also to learn with, you know, emakhaya, how indaba yokushawa kwabantu besifazane can be talked about as such a normal thing that doesn't raise any eyebrows whatsoever, you know. And yeah, you guys, anyway, I guess we should be happy that we're seeing these shows where, you know, not only is it shown on the show, but the conversation is extended and it's talked about a lot online and on social media, on radio. And then people can just learn that if you are in that situation, listen, it's not normal. That's not how things are supposed to be. You are not supposed to be hit in a relationship. Okay. And another thing that was interesting was to learn a little bit about Siyacela's childhood, actually, because she does talk about the fact that when she came kaDlamuka, Siyacela was very young and he had just lost his mother, and uBabdlamuka was very protective. In fact, he was overprotective over uSiyacela. She feels like uBabdlamuka spoiled uSiyacela. He's in trying to protect uSiyacela, he spoiled him, and he feels like ubenganyatheli phansi kubaba wakhe, meaning ukuthi anything and everything that he wanted, he would get. In fact, she had such a hard time to remove uSiyacela from their bed with uBabdlamuka because ubelala noBabdlamuka. She tells a story of how rude uSiyacela was to her. So I guess it's not a new thing ukuthi uSiyacela uyadelela, because uSiyacela has delelated for a very long time. And also she does say ukuthi There was a story where she washed some clothes for Ubab Dlamuka, ironed them, prepared them because Ubab Dlamuka was going to go somewhere. And just when everything is ready, Usacela took everything and put it in the bath. Wafaka manzi khona lapho, zamatha impahla. And the funny thing is that she says Usacela used to speak very fluent English when he was younger because wayifunda in those Indian schools. And I'm like, Usacela spoke a fluent English. Hey, hi. Now we should say abantu abasabhi. People won't believe ukuthi Usacela sekhuluma kanje nje kodwa she used to speak a very fluent English because, but that is not the first time we hear ukuthi he actually went to very good schools when he was younger, when his mom was around, because even the other grandmother from his mother's side had mentioned something like that, because Ugutu Sacela went to good schools when he was younger, when his mom was still alive. Anyway, you guys, that was an episode for today. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, it was great for them to add that new character to the show, which is Umam Kiza, you guys. But I mean, I feel like it's about time that this season is over, because honestly, you guys, you need to move forward, you know. And Mina, I would like for this show to be focused on these kids improving their lives, especially like Ntando. Someone needs to push Ntando to get her matric and just be doing things to, or maybe just start a business, and let's see her journey with her starting a business, how it does, and like something like that. Like yeah, you guys. And also the fact that she does not want a relationship with her dad right now, I feel like the producer should not be forcing him on her. You know, if she says she doesn't want to shoot with him, they should just leave her alone when it comes to that. Anyway, you guys, there was an episode for today. Please tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Like this video and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntanda kakhulu.